Hey, what's going on, YouTube? It's Jeffrey here. I just wanted to bring you another video. This time I'll be talking about learning to shoot film and my experience so far. First, I want to start off by talking about some of the film gear that I have. So starting off with my 35mm film camera, I have a Olympus 35 SP. I just got this, and I haven't quite put a roll of film through it just yet. But I have some Tri-X in here. And this is my first rangefinder camera, so this has actually been pretty cool. And from what I hear, this lens is supposed to be pretty good. It's a 42mm, I believe, f1.7. So I'm really looking forward to shooting this. It's supposed to be just as good as the Leica glass. And if you know anything about Leica cameras, they're extremely expensive. So I was actually really excited to get that for the deal that I got it for. Medium format, I have two film cameras. My Yashica Mat 124G camera I nicknamed Logan. It's a pretty old camera, and it's a TLR, so it has the two lenses, so it's a really iconic look. And the few times I've been out using it, people are always curious about it, and it's just a really cool camera. And the lens on here is actually really sharp. I was surprised, considering that I believe this camera was made in like 1971 or something, but it's actually a really good lens on here. It's an 80mm f3.5, but you have a leaf shutter and this little winding knob, so every time you click, it's pretty quiet. Definitely quieter than the other camera I'll show you in a second. Both of these actually have leaf shutters, and leaf shutters are pretty cool, and I'll go into that in another video. But basically, you can use flash sync at any speed, so you don't have to have like some special way to do high speed sync. You can sync all the way up to the maximum shutter speed. And on both of these cameras, that's 1/500th of a second. And this camera's in great working condition. I really like it. I did end up getting the hood just because it will flare the lens does flare pretty easily, but I mean, that's probably my only complaint about it. And I'll probably do individual reviews on all of these cameras soon. And last but not least, I have a Kiev 60. And this was my first medium format film camera. I've ended up buying two lenses for when I bought it. It came with two lenses, a 45 and a 65mm. All the lenses are Zeiss lenses, and this is actually pretty cool. This and the Yashica Mat both also shoot. They both shoot 6x6 medium format film, so the square format. So with a roll of 120 film, you get 12 shots. But this camera is pretty cool. The only complaint I have about it is the maximum sync speed, flash sync speed is 1/30th of a second. And if you hear, I mean, that causes some vibration, so you really got to be on a tripod, and just got to be careful using it. You can't really shoot at low shutter speeds. But yeah, so that's just some of my gear. Like I said, I bought two lenses for it. I have an 80mm f2.8 Zeiss lens, and this is a really good lens. And on here I have a 120mm f2.8 lens as well, and this gives you some really good compression, and they're both really good optics. I got lucky there was no dust in them, no haze or mold or anything like that, so they both shoot really nicely. Next, I want to just kind of tell you about what I've learned from shooting film. One, I've become much more conservative with my shooting, even with my digital stuff, just because with film, 35mm cameras, you buy most roll of films, you get 36 exposures. So, you still have to kind of, that's a decent amount, but you still need to shoot with a purpose. These, my medium format cameras, you only get 12 shots. Now, if another camera I want shoot 6x7, so I will only be getting 10 shots on a roll. And when you think about it, a roll of film, the professional grades of film can cost you almost, you can get some black and white rolls for like $7, but a lot of the color rolls are $10 plus. So you have that. I don't do my own developing yet. I just don't want to deal with chemicals, but that's another, $10 per roll. So you already, we'll just say $20 a roll right there. If you get it scanned, just a inexpensive scan, a lab I use here in Atlanta, they do it for $5. So you're at $25, and that doesn't include if you get it, that's just having it scanned. That's not getting it printed. So prints can vary in price, and that cost adds up fairly quickly. The cost of these cameras isn't too bad at all, but I mean, I didn't pay Canon Rebel price for any of these cameras, and you're talking about medium. You know, I can shoot medium format. Yes, it's film, but you know, still we're talking about medium format. So, you know, it's just, you really have to kind of conserve your shots and make sure you're shooting with a purpose. Also, it slows you down a lot. And I know if you watch any other video where people talk about learning to shoot film, you'll hear that all the time. But it's true. One, because you are shooting with a purpose. Also, these cameras are manual focus only, so that's going to slow you down quite a bit. The rangefinder is definitely the fastest when I have the manual focus, just because if you don't know much about rangefinders, there's an image, you have frame lines, then you have an image, and you have a ghost image. You have to line up the ghost image with the patch in the middle, and that's how you know you're in focus or not. But so it's pretty quick. But these other two cameras, you really have to kind of take your time and really try to nail your focus. So, you know, it definitely slows you down and makes you think a lot more about what you're shooting. You plan a little bit more carefully, and you don't just, because you can't take a shot and just see if it worked, you know, right away anyways, you really pay more attention to what you're doing. I've noticed that I've started paying more attention to when I'm photographing people, how they're posing, if any of the hairs, you know, little flyaways, little issues in the outfit, anything like that. You just, because you want to make each one of these shots count. So it just makes you more, you pay more attention to details. Also, I think something else that's kind of got me into is printing more. I was already kind of a fan of printing, but it's something about holding a print, which I appreciate already, but definitely when you have to wait to get the film developed and see everything, and then you get it printed out, and you know you're kind of holding the prints. It's a hard feeling to explain. It's a good feeling because you're just like, you know, everything came together and it all worked. So that's always pretty exciting to get your prints back, especially if you're trying anything new. Like I did a long exposure with the Yashica, and it came out decent. I probably could have ran it a little bit longer, but I was still pretty happy with it. And the last thing I want to say before I let the sample images play is these cameras really teach you the importance of lenses. Lenses are everything with film cameras, because it's not like digital cameras today where you have sensors that, you know, people talk about all these megapixels and stuff, and AA filters versus cameras without AA filters, and how much sharper they are, and dynamic range and all that kind of stuff. And, you know, basically anybody could shoot a certain type of film, you just have to buy it, so you're not concerned about, you know, a camera sensor or anything like that. Camera features, they matter, but I mean, so much was determined by the type of film you use, you know, as far as color, speed, and that kind of thing. So it really just emphasized that, you know, you really needed good lenses. And, you know, Zeiss was known for making good lenses. This is supposed to be a pretty good lens on this camera. The Yashica has a pretty good lens, but you really want to make sure that you have good lenses that don't flare too much, lenses that are sharp as possible, and, you know, just some of them have a little bit more contrast, but you really just really pay attention to what lenses you buy. And with that being said, I'll let the sample images play. If you have any questions about any of these cameras, or want me to do a review on any of them individually, or lenses or anything like that, or maybe talk about the film types I use, just let me know in the comments below. Until next time, thanks for watching, and I hope you like the sample images.